The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the Oliver Squad. We're having a showdown back here. Look, you can see Bo's right here. Oliver's up here. Bo's like, don't you come down here. Don't you come down here. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Drop a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me. And I would say if I can hear you, but we all know that's not true. That's not how this works. That's not how the internet works. Okay? It's not how it works. Hey, Sandy, did you get my my email? I haven't checked it since I sent it, but I sent you one. I got some responses on Patreon about some possible things that it could be. But just check your email when you get a chance. I hope it's figured itself out, or you know what I'm saying. And also, everybody, welcome the mods to the station. Hello, Tux. Hello, Emily. Hello, Indy. I'm not sure I don't know if Lauren or Tori are here, but if you're also here, hey, Audra, hey, Jen, as I remember Jenny early. Everybody, you just said, okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome, Sandy. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Mac, how's it going? I hope y'all are wonderful. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Brenda. Emily, I hope you're doing well. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Dominique. It's good to see all these familiar names in here. I like to say familiar faces, right? So let's see. What has everybody been up to? So obviously we're going to be going over that motion. Now I know it's kind of like old news. I know other channels done it. And I did a very quick thing over it, but I have not. I want to sit down and like read through it. I think it's like 13 pages. It won't really take us that long. And we're talking about the Lori Daybell. She wants a new trial because of the interview that the juror did, but she also cited other reasons, right? And now there's other motions that have been filed. Oh wait, hold on. Noah says, and thank you for being a member, Noah, for 5 months. Check out the bandanas on the puppy pics I sent. Oh, did you email them or where'd you send them, Noah? And I'll check it out. So we'll do that. We'll go over. We'll read the thing, and then we'll talk about that and all that. Before we get to that, I want to do some updates real quick, some housekeeping, if you will. Please hold. Okay. So, first of all, I gotta maybe today or tomorrow. It's been kind of crazy the last few days. I'm gonna look and see if there's any hearings that have taken place in the last week, aka Donna Adelson's, that I didn't watch that we might stream this week, say maybe a morning session or whatever, because that's working out for me. If I'm like, I need to watch this, we're going to do it together, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I got to look and just go over everything and see. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. Most of the trials have been postponed. Couple of things coming up. So we are going to be going to Tennessee. It's booked. For the remaining charges that Megan Boswell is being sentenced for. So that's going to be on the 22nd of May, I believe. So obviously I can't have cameras in there and whatnot on that level, but I'll do like a little live chat and whatnot. So stay tuned, if you will. Sherry Papini is going to be doing a documentary where she speaks out for the first time, like speaks out. So there's a trailer on it. Stay tuned. May's member book club selection. Hey, Indy. And just so you know, it's very casual. You're automatically in it if you are a channel member on either channel or a Patreon member. Hey, Shayna. Pardon me. So we are reading If I Can't Have You, the book I'm doing on Audible about Susan Powell case. So that's what we're doing in May. All it is we read it behind the scenes, and then we'll have one official like members live chat over it. But I might post like little videos of whatnot about it and everything, just kind of talking about it along the way. So it's very casual. So there's that. Lastly, or whatever you want to call it, I went to go see for my horror film people, and I'm going to film a video for this for the movie channel. We went to go see Until Dawn tonight, y'all. It was good. Okay, so if you are a horror film buff or you like following that stuff, I'll post a video maybe tomorrow or Tuesday or whatever on that channel. And I'm going to do a different format because somebody gave this idea. They're like, why don't you do the first part of the video where you do the spoiler free, and then the second part, like give everybody a warning, and then talk about it some. And I'm like, you know what? I like that. I like that component because I don't have time to like go do both. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 videos, but I like seeing what people say about the movies over there, especially ones that move me. So there's that. And Diane L. Yes, I am going to CrimeCon 2025. I'm going to be there. Emily's going to be there too. And so, Clown in a Cornfield. I saw that colored pencil cap, and I have no idea what it's about, but I would totally watch it if it's a horror film. Bandit's mom says, my son has a full sleeve of horror characters. I love that. I have Freddy. What do I have? Jason, Freddy's glove, and a Halloween pumpkin on my calf. And I was going to do like a full like legs thing of them, but we're not doing that anymore. Just for several reasons, but I love that. I love horror film tattoos. I love tattoos. Yeah, Wampa, if you like horror, you're going to definitely want to see Until Dawn. It was good. So, but it's definitely, it was gory, but appropriately, right? And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was like, oh my God, I want to tell you. I feel like I haven't seen it forever. This week we'll continue on with some of the Melanie Gibbs stuff, as well as, like I said, catching up on some of the random. What we'll do is we'll do Revisiting Evil stuff on our usual like Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and then if there's like a case or like a hearing I want to get caught up on, then we will we'll do that like in a morning session or something like that or whatever. Because that just works out good, and I kind of like that vibe of like, I don't know, just like having coffee with y'all. It's like a couple hour stream, and it's like, I don't know, just work. I like it. I like the energy. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to read through that the motion, Lori's motion for a new trial. Now, I did a very quick like truck update this morning kind of a thing. And I mostly focused on my thoughts because so many, and I love y'all emailing me and asking me about this stuff. So many of you hit me up, asked me about the specific dynamic of what the juror said. So yes, I watched, if you didn't watch the video on the other channel, yes, I watched Lauren, aka Hidden True Crimes, interview with him. Yes, and you already know, many of you were here with us when we watched it live. We heard him doing that live or whatever, right? So we've kind of seen all that, and then we were expecting Lori to do this. Okay, so 100%. So we'll start off with this, and then we'll get into we'll talk about opinion stuff, and then we'll read through it because I'm going to read through some of the other stuff and see what she's trying to say. 100%, 1,000,000,000%. was expecting, this is just normal for anyone to ask for a new trial, right? That doesn't shock me at all. That part, I was like, well, what's it going to be? You know what I mean? Pardon me. So that part didn't surprise me. It didn't, it is what it is. The reasonings, I mean, sometimes I'm like, seriously, really? The only thing that's tricky with this is that this was like a good reason. You know what I mean? That being said, I personally don't think it will flip the trial, but I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm none of those things, right? So who am I? And I'll tell you why I don't think that in a second. So here's my thing. And again, this is just my opinion. This isn't meant to come after this guy, anything like that. I personally think he did know about it. And y'all help me out here. And I said this in the main video too. So when because Lauren straight up asked him the question, she's like, hey, this is, let's talk about it. This is going around. You said this comment the day you said it was the verdict day. You said yesterday on my way home, thinking about she's going to serve these 3 life sentences, whatever. And his response to Lauren in that moment was, yeah, I don't know where I heard that from. So he didn't deny that he knew this information. So I was like, oh, okay. Like I was expecting him to deny it, right? So I was, pardon me. I was expecting that. So when he didn't, I was like, oh, okay. So I guess he did know about that. I'll just sum it up with this. We're lucky we got a guilty verdict out of him. Let's be honest. Now, so many of you watched the trial with me, and so help me, because this is very nuanced to me. Okay, so, and again, if you didn't watch Lauren's interview with him, it's one that I suggest. And again, Lauren Hidden True Crime, and it's the title of it is like I Couldn't Sleep. It's the guy with the glasses and the white hair, whatever. Okay, so when he's talking about, oh yeah, sorry, Matt. So yeah, are you okay, Matt? Everybody's asking about, are you okay?
I swallowed a grape down the wrong
He
hole.
swallowed a grape.
Down the wrong hole.
He was over there. He's over there talking about. He's like, it's taking you for. Paul waited 47 minutes before he got up and did what is it called? The things, the Heimlich maneuver. So yeah, he fought a hairball. Yeah, I appreciate y'all asking. Yeah, he's over there preparing like a thing of grapes and strawberries and all that kind of stuff, or whatever, for snacks during the week. Although I'll eat them all mostly tonight. So, now I forgot where I was going with that. So, with the juror, I feel like there were several things that he said or whatever. I don't know. It's an interesting watch to see the variety of how jurors think and come to conclusions, right? It's like some of the stuff he said, like, so for example, when he asked Lauren towards the end, and this can go 2 ways, where he was like, how do they pick the jurors? Does Lori get to do that? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, my knee-jerk reaction, I'm just being judgmental, obviously, but I was like, weren't you there? Like, didn't you see how that played out? But then I was like, okay, well, I too would be somebody who I would ask in this way of like wanting to ask somebody who I consider to be more of a professional. You know what I mean? It's like someone like Lauren, be like, how do they do that? And so it could go both ways, but it was just kind of funny to hear him, because when he's like, how do they pick the juror? I was just like, you tell me. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, allegedly. So just hearing some of that stuff, I was like, okay, this is whatever. And so it was interesting, right? But I mean, again, he said, this is what I was going to say earlier. Okay, and y'all help me out here. Okay, so because a lot of you watched along. Okay, so remember how when he was talking, if you watched it, where he was basically saying like, oh, well, it was not guilty for me until kind of like the very end or whatever, and like the statement about and getting rid of Charles was big to him, the closing arguments, all that type of stuff, right? Okay, remember when we were watching it, and I don't know at what point in the trial, but numerous people said this. I was feeling this where I'm like, okay, we're painting the story here, but let's start getting into some hardcore conspiracy stuff. right? Now, I personally felt like the lawyer rounded all that out. In hindsight, looking at it, I was like, she had to paint, and talk about this, the state had to paint as big of a picture as you could without talking about A, B, and C, right? Where it's like, for the context. And so I felt like, hindsight, I was like, oh no, I felt like the state obviously did that. They got a guilty verdict out of everybody. So when he was just like, well, yeah, I mean, I didn't hear Lori come out and say, I committed conspiracy. And Northwest, first of all, Northwest, how are you doing? And Northwest, that's the absolute second point that I wanted to say. Yeah, Wampo, thanks for being a member for 5 months. He'd be a perfect prey for Lori's next target. I mean, you kind of also see how somebody goes down the rabbit hole of, Lori's spell or whatever you call it. Now, Northwest, this comment right here, but I ignored a bunch of facts I thought were irrelevant. That was a huge thing that he said that I was like, because here's the difference. Obviously, and I'll speak for, I'm biased. I followed this case. I know too much about it. So obviously, I mean, I don't know what would be in a jury. It's very hard for me to remove all of that and pretend that I don't know all this stuff and look at it in the way that one of the jurors is supposed to. So while I can appreciate on many levels, the need to say I can compartmentalize A, B, and C. But when he was like, oh, I ignored a bunch of the stuff, that I have a talent for like ignoring things or compartmentalizing things that aren't relevant. And I was and he's like talking about this and that and the other. And I'm kind of like, okay, yes, some of this is probably not as relevant as others, but you had to get all this out. And they even got a watered down version of it, right? You had to know A before you could get to C. And so while, as I'm sure a juror entering into this brand new, it's kind of like, huh? What? Oh, Emily, you've been an official member for 15 months, but so much longer. You've been at the Sofa Squad, and I do appreciate it. So that whole thing, and yeah, I see y'all saying he had to prove murder first. Yeah, allegedly says the fact that he already felt sorry for Lori for having 3 life sentences. There were some troubling things brought up there, right? But I also feel like, oh, thanks, Mac, for being a member for 4 months. And Chris says, had I not followed the case, Lori sunk herself with her cat fight. Amen. So, yeah. Now, here's one of my things that I was saying in my video this morning. We'll say it again here for those that don't watch it. This is my thought process. And again, I don't know the laws. I'm none of that fancy stuff. This is just, it's easy for me to say this from the sofa. That's what I'm getting at, right? This is where I feel like if there was some kind of, I don't even know if it's law or if the judge said something, I'm making this up. Pretend the judges were like this. They're like, okay, look, you're done. You've done your duty. Y'all, we love you for doing that. You're so awesome. When you leave here, you're going to be in a 24-hour cooling off media bubble. You can go home and talk to your wife, your kids, your family, your whoever you want to. But for 24 hours, you cannot speak to the media and the media cannot speak to you. You decide what you want to do with your experience during that time and take a minute and digest it. And then if you want to call, no. If you want to call USA Today and be on the front cover on the 25th hour, go for it. You know what I mean? Because I look at it 2 ways: the integrity of the case and the safety of the juror. Because imagine if, we'll use Carl, for example, since this is a recent one. Oh, thanks for being a member for 8 months, Tracy. And the puppies say thank you. You can tell they're squabbling over here. Imagine if this trial gets flipped open because of this, what Carl said. Imagine the people, and probably this is probably happening, coming for him, looking him up, getting in his DMs, finding out that, contacting him. You see what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of these jurors don't know how crazy it can get in true crime or all that type of stuff. We know, right? We follow this stuff, right? So we know it's like, bro, you don't want to be the poster boy for Lori's verdict got overturned. That's not going to be a cute look, right? Hold on. And so to me, it's a safety issue as well as integrity issue for the trial, for the verdict, for the victims, for everybody, right? And so, but some jurors chose not to. And the way he was like, oh, please, I started Googling right away. Please, 100% I would do that too. And I don't know what it's like to have all that information and walk out and have a camera stuff in my face. I don't know, right? I mean, I might too be like, oh, okay, sure. But obviously the jurors, I mean, they're brand new to this stuff. So it's like it's all brand new to them. Like if one of us was on a jury, we might be like walking out talking about call me tomorrow because we already have people to talk to about it, right? We're like, go away. I'm trying to get home to the sofa squad, right? I've got a whole sofa full of people to talk to about this mess. Like the girl, Tosh or whatever, I can't remember her name, whatever, like her grandmother or something like that was like true crime plays. She could, but she didn't sit there and say crazy stuff in her interviews. I'm trying to get, please help. Oh yeah, and hey Down Under, how are you doing? And Down Under, thank you for keeping us informed of all of the going on with the mushroom trial. I greatly appreciate it. I'm recording another video tomorrow, and then there's another one that I did, so it's kind of behind. I figured we do a live chat. That's what I forgot. We're gonna do a live chat maybe tomorrow night. I don't know, and we're gonna go over all the mushroom case stuff. Because it's like in day 3 or 4, I forget what is it Down Under. It's deep into it, and y'all, it is interesting. Okay, the stuff that's coming out in that trial, crazy. 100% think she's 100% guilty. Okay. Brimbo says you couldn't pay my grandma to hold her tongue if it were something like this. I mean, seriously. So her grandmother, that was some of the biggest stuff to pop off. Imagine whatever situation, so that was her grandmother. So whatever that kind of close relationship you have is like that person to you was like, yeah, I just moved to town. I'm going to be on, I don't know their name. It's Daybell, Lori, something like that. But you're on Lori Daybell jury. And this sounds sad, but it's like a bonding thing, right? Because that's connecting generations where she's like, okay, grandma, tell me, what is this? And the grandma was like, sit down. I've got a playlist for plays, 8 years. Yeah, Jenny says, how could any of us be on a jury? We know all the people, right? Wait, Shanna says day 4 and day 3 of testimony. Okay, yes. So, and hold on, make you catch up. Emily says, "The grandma, I'd be flipping out." Wait, where was Northwest question? Hold on, let me scroll back up. In a second, we'll read through the things. I want to see what her other reasons are. Oh, that is a good question, Northwest. And I forget, I put it in my original video. I feel like it's like, I forget how many people were on the jury, but it's similar to here, I believe. Now, here's the other thing. Okay, so I'll say this, then we'll start reading through the motion. Okay, so you know how so we're in ADD land. We're jumping back to the conversation of the juror talking to Lauren Hintergrime. Okay, so if you watched it when he was like, I only watch one news, world news or whatever. And he's like, I don't watch local news. Okay, so coinciding with that, there's a trial going on here in Raleigh that when I saw it just popped up because I don't watch local news either, really. But I saw something pop up on my notifications and I was like, what? This sounds, when you see like a headline for a trial that you're like, huh? Like this sounds like some court TV law and crime stuff. And I'm like, wait, this is in Raleigh? And so I was like, well, is crime, are they here, like these networks? Because this is like up their alley, right? So then it hit me and I was like, Paul, this is how this happened. You had no idea this case was going. I never heard of it, right? And so I was like, this is how these people who are like, Lori who? I'm like, this is how it can happen. Because I'm like, if say I got called in a jury duty for this trial going on here, I could honestly say, yeah, I haven't followed this. Who would they do? Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know that. Not that it was as big as the Lori Daybell thing, but it just made me really stop in my tracks and realize, like, oh, okay, yeah, like this is how this works, right? Jessica says that Taz went home. Is it, how do you say it? Is it Toss or Tass went home and her grandma watched the Netflix documentary right away? Wait, Lori, wait, hold on. And then Emily, what did Emily say? There's an ex-cop trial 30 miles from me accused. Oh, really? Tosh. Okay, Tosh, thank you. No, we don't need to bark. We don't need to bark. We most certainly don't.
Luke.
We most certainly don't. Okay, so I'm going to kind of leave this wait here. Please hold. Please continue to hold. Okay, so this is I got to make this bigger for myself, my eyes, please. This is the motion for a new trial. Okay. Shoobity doop doop, doop doop. Okay, that's what it is. So let's just get down to the facts, the memorandum of points and authorities. So juror misconduct, April 28, 2025, it came to the attention of this defendant's advisory council and later the court that juror 15 made a statement indicating he had knowledge of this defendant's prior conviction. They do the news clip. He also indicated that, hold on, he was leaning towards a not guilty vote up until yesterday and through deliberations. This prior conviction involved the homicide of her children in Idaho in 2023. This defendant did not testify in this trial, and this conviction was not presented by the state as a Rule 404B, other act evidence. Thus, Juror 15 should not have learned about this information. Because this case is a high-profile matter, once the jury was released from its admonition, jurors were free to speak with the media. During an interview, Juror 15 was asked about his reaction upon learning about this defendant's prior convictions. He stated the following: I feel sorry for her. Driving home yesterday, I was like, God, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison in a cell. Again, let me find y'all real quick. So that right there, it is what it is, right? There's just no getting around it. Pardon me. There's just, there you go, right? So we'll also talk about, remind me to give my opinion, and again, it's just an opinion on why I don't think, hey Tori, why I don't think that this is going to flip the verdict or whatever you call it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now this is the other one I wanted to get into. Preclusion of Tylee Ryan and Alex Cox statements and impermissible expert testimony by Detective Daniel Coons. Okay, so I've got questions about this, but let's get to it first. Okay. Prior to the trial, the court precluded this defendant from presenting to the jury any of Tylee Ryan or Alex Cox statements. Now, let me pause there real quick and ask y'all this, and I keep reading. Wouldn't this not be good for her to do, though? Because then you could introduce what happened to Tylee. That's my first thought, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But even for me, I'm just like, I don't think she would want to do that. Oh, thanks, Emily. But again, I don't know if there's any professionals in the comment section. Go on, let us know. Go on, let us know. Yeah, Lori brought Tylee up. This is so true. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, so, yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot about that part. Okay, you can't do that to a witness and bring in their shit. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so let me go back over here. All right, so both of these people were present during the shooting of Charles Vallow, and thus some of their statements were not hearsay as they show effect on listener pursuant to Arizona Rules of Evidence 8033. The state filed a motion in Lamine throwing a blanket hearsay objection over the entire statements. The court indicated in a pretrial hearing ruling that it would, at least to Alex Cox's statement, take it on a statement-by-statement basis. During trial, this defendant was precluded from even discussing that Alex conducted a walkthrough, much less his statements with Chandler police detectives during that walkthrough. Sorry, I zoned out on that one. Hold on. Then in the state's case in chief, it elicited expert testimony from the scene agent, Detective Dino Coons. This defendant objected to his testimony as an expert witness based on lack of foundation and her not having had time to debut his professional opinion. Again, this defendant was precluded from discussing Alex Cox's, the shooter, walkthrough that was conducted with several Chandler police detectives, including Detective Coons. This walkthrough was precluded as inadmissible hearsay. However, it formed the basis for Detective Coons' questioning with the medical examiner and how he then investigated this case, as Alex Cox indicated he shot the victim in self-defense. C. Discovery violation. April 14, 2025, during the trial, Ms. Trina K. produced a hard drive containing the gray key information for Charles Vallow cell phone. The contents of the hard drive are exculpatory evidence. Defense had been requesting this evidence so that she could provide it to her independent expert for his review. This discovery disclosure occurred in the middle of trial. Now, I don't remember that part right there. Do y'all? Because I think some of the stuff she's grabbing at straws. Because remember how she kept coming up with stuff talking about, no, you need to, I saw this on YouTube or whatever it was, right? And wanting it so bad, the state's like, well, it was this and it's in there. And then half the stuff that Lori wanted them to see, and we heard this from the jurors when they're like, yeah, we went and looked at the video and it made her look really bad. We were doing that whole Sarah Boone thing of no, trust me, bro. When you see this video, you're going to know I'm the victim. And it's this doesn't seem to end well, right? Doesn't seem to end well. Please hold. Oh, wait, let me mute this while I drink. Please hold. And some of this I feel like she's just grabbing at straws because it's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I cannot say this word. Prosecutorial misconduct, April 8th, 2025. The state elicited irrelevant, prejudicial, and improper character evidence when she asked Chandler Fire Captain Keller if he overheard any conversations with this defendant. Ms. Trina K. asked Captain Keller on direct examination, did you overhear this defendant talking with police? He responded in the affirmative, stating that he overheard someone stating not getting invited to pool party because of the commotion at the house or something. This statement, let me make this bigger, caught the defendant off guard, as Captain Keller indicated during his interviews with Chandler police just after the incident occurred that he only saw the male outside on the curb and did not mention even seeing this defendant. Now, pause right there. Here's my question about this. I mean, it was on video. Didn't they introduce this video already did the jury see the video of her doing that? Because we know she did do that, right? We know she said that. Hey, Stormy, but is it that wasn't introduced and so she's upset that they said that? Here we go. During closing arguments, while addressing the justification defenses, Ms. Trina K told the jury that this defendant was not entitled to any of these self-defense instructions. Ms. Trina K also gave false statements by saying Alex had no reason to be at this defendant's home and that this defendant told Alex to bring a gun. Ms. Trina K knew from previous testimony interviews and pretrial defense interviews that Summer had begged Alex to go to this defendant's home because of Summer's concerns for this defendant's safety. Finally, Ms. Trina K commented several times that this defendant's demeanor during this incident, drive to police station, on the body camera, and told the jury, you did not see her cry in that interview. Yet knowing there were portions of this defendant's interview that had been cut from the full interview admitted by the state where she sat in the room and did show emotion and can be seen grabbing a Kleenex. I can't roll my eyes hard. Y'all know what she's talking about. If you've been watching this, she grabbed a Kleenex. I mean, again, I understand the game that's being played, right? You're doing this, you're doing that, you're picking apart. Oh, wait, hold on. I get it, right? But like that part right there, when she reached for that thing, you couldn't even tell she was really crying. And she certainly did enough laughing in there. Like when she did the crying thing on that interview, and I'm talking about Lori, 100% she just did it for camera's sake. Like, yeah, I know. Thanks for letting me know, Emily. She 100% was just like, oh, wait a second. I need to cry. Please hold. I mean, come on. And then my next thing is like, well, then get Summer up there. I didn't see. You could have had Summer come up in there talking about, oh yeah, Lori's great. Oh yeah, love her to death. Okay. Court's lack of impartiality. The court precluded this defendant from presenting a defense by striking her witnesses, including but not limited to Nate Eaton and Brandon Boudreaux, before they were even called to the stand. Specifically, before testimony began, the court required this defendant to establish on the record what relevancy her witnesses would present. This required this defendant to state in front of the prosecutor her defense strategy. This is not required under the law or any rule of evidence. During the cross-examination of a civilian witness, Serena Sharp, in relation to testimony, testimony regarding religious. No, we don't do that. Religious beliefs, the court commented during the prosecutor's objection to relevancy, stating, I guess to the extent that you're comparing yourself to these biblical figures, I will allow it. Part of the state's case was to establish that the defendant had stepped outside of the Mormon religion by claiming she was a translated being, specifically in text messages, saying she would be like Nephi, and that these messages were nothing more than part of the conspiracy to kill Charles Vallow. This defendant attempted to establish that being translated was a regular part of the Mormon religion and thus a relevant line of questioning. Argument and authority. The Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure provide that a court may grant a new trial when a juror or jurors have committed misconduct by receiving evidence not properly admitted during the trial. Additionally, a new trial is appropriate if, for any other reason not due to the defendant's own fault, the defendant has not received a fair and impartial trial. Then the defendant is entitled to a new trial because the jury received and consulted extraneous evidence. Quoting, once a defendant shows the jury received and consulted extraneous information, prejudice must be presumed and a new trial must be granted unless the state proves beyond a reasonable doubt the information did not taint the verdict. Okay, now please hold. I said, please hold. That is right. Please hold. Okay, let me get back to y'all real quick. Where'd y'all go? Wait, can y'all still hear me? Matt, will you turn the thing on for me?
What is it?
The fan. I'm dying up in here. Okay, cool. Thank you, Megan. So here's my thing. We'll talk about real quick. So the way this sounds out to me, and if y'all the professionals, let me know. To me, it sounds like they're going to have a little hearing, and they're going to basically determine, okay, did this, what happened? I can imagine them bringing the dude in there and having some kind of thing, and he's basically going to be like, they'll ask him whatever they want to ask him, and he's probably going to say something like this, like, I don't, no, I didn't, it didn't taint my opinion or whatever, right? And they're going to say, okay, we're all good. Pardon me. So I think that's how it's going to go. So I don't think that it's going to, I think they're going to want to know, did you look it up? I mean, I guess that's what they're going to do. And he might very well say, oh, no, I misspoke. Oh, no, I did that. I didn't mean to, like, whatever. I don't know. If he gets up there and admits he's biased, well, then, I mean, I can't help him there. Right? I can't help him there. It's like at that point, it's done, right?
I found your sushi. You want your sushi?
Okay, let me find the screen again. What is it? Uh-oh.
Or do you want that?
The toys are getting out of the dryer. It's a very big day here. The toys have been laundered and dried, and they're getting them back.
What do you want?
The sushi, there's a little sushi that's a very, very popular. Jenny, I think you might have sent that. It's a very popular thing. Hear me out. Thank you. Hear me out. It says, sorry, I'm late. There was a small loin fire in my kitchen. Scientifically impossible to extinguish by earthly methods. Hey, I get it. I hope that it's under control. I hope that the portal is not burned down. Okay, let me get back over here real quick. Okay, so okay, Matt, I just dumped. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, I dumped my Coke all over me. I knocked it off and it fell. I was like, I need something. Okay, so here we go. I said, okay, here we go. And then I turned the phone off. I can't, yo. Okay, so when a juror does not base his verdict on evidence developed at trial, he violates, quote, the fundamental integrity of all that is embraced and the constitutional concept of trial by jury. Such misconduct by the jury members denies criminal defendants their rights under the 6th and 14th Amendment to confront and cross-examine his accusers about that intrinsic evidence. Now, here's the one thing, too. If you do go based on, like, what he said, basically, like, in my opinion, he was mostly saying that the thing that really sent him over the edge was the comments in the closing arguments, and the comment being before we got rid of him or after we got rid of him or whatever it was that Lori said, I can't remember. So even though he was like alluding to the fact that it sounds like, yeah, he might have learned about this information before, he wasn't like he was saying that that's what caused it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think if they really examined the things that he said, it's going to show that he was basing more of his stuff on the text messages and the closing arguments, and also feeling sorry for her at the same time that, oh, she's doing all these life sentences, whatever. And it's like, bro, go watch a few documentaries on Miss Lori Daybell and then let's see how sorry you feel for her, right? I mean, I can understand where it's like, oh gosh, but it's like, go watch what she's, been convicted of. get back with us on that. It is what it is. Okay, so let me get back over here. Okay, so this defendant's advisory counsel and the court both received evidence that the jury's verdict was tainted when Juror 15 spoke during his interview with Fox 10 News, disclosing he had learned of her prior conviction seemingly one day prior to the admonition, I can't say that, I mess it up every time, being lifted. Because it is clear that Juror 15 has information he was not entitled to know prior to conducting deliberations, the burden is on the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this information did not taint the verdict. The state will not be able to meet this burden, and this defendant is entitled to a new trial. Even if an offending juror may not have influenced the other jurors, unanimity is required to convict a criminal defendant, and the juror's conclusion may have been different had the juror not consulted the extraneous sources. I mean, this part's so tricky. Okay. In Cornell, a juror looked up different definitions that were neither admitted into evidence nor included in the trial in the court. Hold on. Jake. I'm sorry. Jake. Drop the sushi. Will you take the sushi away from him for a minute?
He wants the sushi.
Jake takes the sushi. This is the sushi. Okay, this is prime real estate in this house. Oh. Now, go get the sushi. Okay, Jake will take the squeaky toy and he'll go stand somewhere, and he knows how to get the squeaker balanced. Like that was him doing that, going dee, 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 dee. And he does that to attract the other dogs to get that's how he requests play, right? So but that I mean, y'all, that part right there, oh my gosh, so funny. But he'll just do it over and over and over and over and over, and it's like, bro, I'm already crazy. I'm going more. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Diane says hard dog squeaker voice too. Yeah, the other dogs don't know how to do it. Like Jake Jake squeaks it like a human does it, where it's like beep, 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 like you do when you're playing with your dog. Jake knows how to do that. And he'll sit here and he'll come and he'll perch himself up and he'll look at the other dogs with his eyes and be like, until they start whatever. It's so funny. Okay. So here we go. Okay. We don't growl. At the time of the writing of this motion, it's not known if Juror 15 shared this information with other jurors. See, she's going to allude to this. She's going to pull everybody into this, right? However, what is clear is that Juror 15 did not follow the admonition and notify the court of him having learned of this information. So an inquiry could have conducted then prior to deliberations. They did that wrong. These actions directly violated the court's instructions and could have factored into Juror 15's verdict, if not multiple jurors' verdicts. In fact, Juror 15 noted that up until the day of closing arguments, he would have voted not guilty. Given this, the state is unable to prove that Juror 15's misconduct did not taint his and potentially other jury members' verdicts. The state will not be able to overcome the overwhelming evidence of Juror 15's misconduct in order to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Juror 15's misconduct did not taint the jury. It's okay, lay down. Go on. And this defendant is entitled to a new trial. And let's make this larger. Preclusion of Tylee Ryan and Alex Cox's statements because the court allowed expert testimony without a Rule 702 ruling this defendant is entitled to a new trial. A new trial is appropriate if for any other reason not due to the defendant's own fault, the defendant has not received a fair and impartial trial. By precluding Tylee Ryan and Alex Cox's statements, this defendant was prevented from presenting part of her defense at trial, and thus she did not receive a fair and impartial trial. The court made a pretrial ruling that at least to Alex Cox's statements, it would make a statement-by-statement ruling. Instead, this defendant was even precluded from discussing Alex Cox's statements during his walkthrough. These walkthrough statements formed the basis for Detective Coons being able to identify as an expert, yet she was precluded from cross-examining him on this foundation. For this basis, this defendant is entitled to a new trial. C. Discovery violation that occurred in the middle of a trial entitled this defendant. That's what she wanted, right? This defendant to a new trial. Discovery rules are designed to implement and not impede the fair and speedy trial rights. On April 14, 2025, during the trial, Ms. Trina K. produced a hard drive containing the great key information for Charles Fowler's cell phone. Contents of the hard drive are exculpatory evidence. Defense had been requesting this evidence so that she could provide it to her independent. The state's discovery violation is 1, the importance of the evidence which the defendant was deprived cross-examination, the right to confrontation and proper investigation and examination for defense, and the state manifested the surprise and prejudice to the opposing party. 3, the violation was motivated by bad faith, which neither the court nor the state corrected. And 4, the many other relevant factors that the state saw fit to depriving the defendant of her constitutional and statutory rights. D. Acts of prosecutorial misconduct entitles defendant to new trial. A new trial is appropriate if, for any other reason not due to the defendant's own fault, the defendant has not received a fair and impartial trial. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
It's sushi time. It's sushi time. It's sushi time, and we're going to rhyme. Jake's looking at me. Jake's like, well, now I don't want to play with the sushi. Jake's like, wow, you sure have ruined sushi time. I guess we'll just move it along now, won't we, to another squeaky toy. Jake, honey, you missed the little sushi. Okay. So, a new trial. Okay, we already did that. This includes prosecutorial misconduct. The statement elicited from Captain Keller was irrelevant and prejudicial to this defendant. Yet Ms. Trina K. purposely asked this witness if he overheard any statements. Second, it's improper for a prosecutor to mistake the law or evidence during closing arguments. Ms. Trina K. stated this defendant was not entitled to self-defense instructions, yet they were clearly provided to the jury. Ms. Trina K. also gave false statements in her closing argument by stating Alex had no reason to be at this defendant's home and that this defendant told him to bring a gun and extra ammo. Ms. Trina K. knew from previous testimony, interviews, and pretrial defense interviews that Summer had begged Alex to go to this defendant's home because of Summer's concerns for this defendant's safety. Lastly, commenting on this defendant's demeanor, specifically stating that this defendant did not cry during her police interview, was improper comment as she had cut this portion out of the exhibit admitted that she called a full interview. I mean, it was not even that much. All of these comments add up to prosecutorial misconduct. And then, we're almost done. Judge commenting on the evidence during the defendant's cross-examination showed a lack of impartiality and entitled the defendant to new trial. Jake, that's not what we do. That's not yours. A defendant may move for a new trial based on the court's lack of impartiality. While under the law, a trial court is presumed to be impartial and free from bias, this defendant can rebut this by the preponderance of the evidence by showing the court required her to present her defense strategy to the state before calling any witnesses. Rule 15.2b of the Arizona Rule of Criminal Procedure requires a defendant to disclose for each listed defense, other than the defendant, that the defendant intends to call as a witness at a trial in support of the defense. Rule 15.2c1 requires a defendant to list the names and addresses of each person other than the defendant the defendant intends to call as a witness at trial. and any written or recorded statement of the witness. There is nothing in Rule 15.2 that requires this defendant to present her defense strategy in order to call witnesses. The Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution provides this defendant the right to subpoena power. This preclusion of witnesses and requirement of this defendant to inform the state of her defense prior to calling any properly noticed witness shows a specific claim of partiality. Second, for the record, established that the court commented while responding to the state's relevant objection, and that comment showed a specific claim of partiality by casting doubt onto this defendant's credibility on this religious issue, and in general showing she cannot be trusted. The court commenting to a relevancy objection, I guess to the extent that you're comparing yourself to these biblical figures, I will allow it, can, hold on, be seen as injecting his own opinion to the defendant's reliability during her cross-examination. This comment is even more important when taken into consideration that Juror 15 in the Fox News 10 Club indicated he ultimately made the decision to vote guilty based to text messages, including the one describing, "I will be like Nephi." The court inserted his own improper comment when a simple overruled or sustained was warranted. This in and of itself shows a lack of impartiality and requires a new trial. Okay, so let's come back over here. And then it just goes into the summation of that or whatever. So here's the thing. I know Donna says, send Lori a "Don't Flatter Yourself" t-shirt. 100%. If there ever was a moment for, you know what, we just need to sum that up. You know what, where are we at over here? We need some "Don't Flatter Yourselves." I mean, my gosh, that's what we're just going to literally just call that whole motion right there. Don't flatter yourself. You know what? We might even need to follow it up with a little bit of a 1-2. Go on, give her the old 1-2. A little side eye too. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead and sip it from the damn cup on that one. I mean, we're at bamboo shirt level. I mean, I'm talking. Let's do that old 1-2 again. I just love it. I love the little wrestle. That is so funny, that little wrestle thing. Oh my goodness. So again, this is just the only thing that I think is like really holds some water in there. Now, again, one of y'all might be more legal and be like, well, Paul, you're not thinking about this over here. Like, I mean, obviously I don't know. Right. I mean, I'm just a dude with a sofa and, 3 dogs and a squeaky sushi toy. Okay. And a Coke running down my arm. Coke Zero running down my arm. Thanks, Farmer. The judge needs bamboo rope for hearings. 100%. Bamboo shields on and activated. Wait, let me read. How many times does she have to be told to stop testifying? Exactly. I just don't think that it's gonna, and I personally think that if they go now, I don't know what will happen if they bring this juror in, which I imagine they're gonna have a hearing with the juror. I imagine. I don't know if it'll be behind closed doors or how they'll do it, but I imagine they're gonna bring him in, and unless he says something, and again, who knows what they'll ask, but I think if they go by what he said, even if he's like, yeah, you know what, I looked it up, again, I don't know how that stuff works. I don't know if it's an automatic, like, bam, you're done. Or if it's like, well, okay, so you looked it up, you didn't tell, that's not good. But did it, influence you? Well, of course he's going to say no. I mean, but you never know, right? He might be like, well, after I thought about it more, it really did influence me. And then it's like, well, forget it. So but the other stuff is like kind of like legal smeagol stuff to me, right? Like it's like I don't know that level of things. But it sounds like very much like, a petty level, I guess you could say. But it's stuff that we always see them do. in any kind of a new trial motion. Like they're going to go through and pick things apart because you never know, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, it keeps everybody, on their toes. So that part I think is like, okay, cool. But yeah, I would love to see if they do a hearing with Carl and if they, if they'll show it to us. Oh, I haven't, Emily. I need to do that. I haven't been doing it just with the emoji that Tori made. I mean, we could say something on there, but I was like making the emoji, like the DFY thing, don't flatter yourself. You could almost have like the DFY thing here and then don't flatter yourself in the back. Yeah, bulk pricing. And Northwest says of hearing likely behind closed doors. Okay, cool. Yeah, Tori, I agree. And see, Carl already had some other issues. Like there was something with, like him doing something with his phone. There was some stuff going on, right? But if I remember correctly, too, he was like, when he started off, he's like, I don't want to be on the jury. And so I feel like, I mean, here's my thing. Like, how sometimes we'll watch these jury things and like you can tell a person doesn't want to do it. I mean, if I was a defendant, please. Here's the thing. If I was a defendant, these are the two big things I'd be questioning. Somebody who's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be doing that. And the other person who's like, absolutely, I'm ready to do this. Let's go. I can be impartial. Come on, let's do it. I'd be like, why are you so excited? You just go have a seat over there. We're going to question a few more people. We're looking for lukewarm. We're looking from 1 to 10. We need a 5 or a 6 or a 4. Right? We need middle ground here. We need gray zone. 1 to 100, we need a 50, 49, somewhere in there. We're not looking for extremes here. Everyone just settle down here. I mean, that's how I would be. Jenny, a 4. We need someone at about a 4, okay? Like, that's what we're looking for here. That's the vibe here. Not too excited, not too unexcited. Oh, they would have known us. We would have rolled up in there. We'd have blueberry muffins made, a little ribbon tied on them. Talking about good morning, all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Only happy person to be in the jury selection, right? I've been here since 4 a.m. How about y'all? They would sniffed us out right away. Right. They would have been like, the room full of 100, they'd have been like, you back there with the big grin and the blueberry. Is that blueberry muffins and chocolate? Well, first of all, drop the blueberry muffins off. After that, you can see your way out the door. We don't even need to question you. You're at a 10. We're looking for more 4s and 5s up in here. Go on. You know where the front door is. You came to that little metal detector. Find your way back on out. Leave about 2 of those muffins right there. I mean, for real, right? No, I need to look at that anthem, the Hidden True Crime anthem, the Lori anthem. Yeah, see, what surprises me with the core systems. So, and Megan, I don't know if you're talking about like the Carl thing where you said, I think it would be like 0 tolerance. Like to me, like on a personal level, I would think something like the Carl thing, like no questions asked, would overturn. Like take any context out. Like if you can prove that a juror did something like that, I'm like, oh, I would personally think that would overturn it, right? But I think that it's like I don't think this reality is how it goes. That's where I'm kind of like, oh, okay, so well, maybe if they say this and that, you see what I'm saying? But like I would have always personally thought like, oh, that's it's a dead in the water. I don't know, but I mean, again, that's not like I don't know. Yeah, isn't it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, y'all, but and I don't know where this is, but is it like United Kingdom or Britain or something like that, where the jurors, it's like a professional like it's the same group of people that do it, like a job or whatever. Yeah, like pick of the jury. And you would think too, so someone that they could take a test or something. I mean, you would kind of think that there would be that. Okay, so you know how like, and I don't know what these are called, but like sometimes at corporate jobs where you go and like say you're applying for a job and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you this like, I don't know what you call it, but it's like a test that you take. And it kind of like tells like if you're honest or if you're this or if you're that. And it's just like, you know, kind of like a battery of questions. I would think that like if something basic like that with jurors would be appropriate. You know what I mean? Like just to be like, okay, we've gotten down, and not every one of them, but like say when you get to a certain point of them where you can be like, okay, look, I want them to take this battery of questions that's like almost like more psychological or whatever that like tells you how honest they are, how this or their discernment. Something like that as opposed to questioning, because think about this, just think about how easily pretend somebody out there knew all this stuff about Lori, but they were like, I'm not going to say nothing. They're like, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to be talking about Lori who and what and huh. Oh, yeah, you bring up a good point. Jenny says, aptitude test, everyone could get out of jury duty. Yeah, this is true. They just go in and fail it. I didn't even think about that. That is, see, that's the tricky part because it's like nobody wants to do it. Okay, hold on. Robert says we don't have professional jurors in the UK. Okay, where is that? Well, you know what? I've got this funny little thing right here. Let's Google that. What country has professional credentialed jurors? Okay. So this is an AI overview answer. Several countries incorporate professional jurors, also known as lay jurors, into their legal systems, particularly for criminal trials. These include countries like France, Germany, Austria, and Belgium, where professional judges are involved in the decision-making process along with lay jurors. Some countries such as Japan, South Korea, and Mexico have also recently adopted or strengthened their jury systems. Additionally, countries like England and Wales and Australia and Canada have long-standing traditions of using lay juries in criminal trials. I don't know if that's lay jurors or ordinary citizens. Well, hold on now. This kind of gives a mixed bag of answers because then down here it says lay jurors or ordinary citizens are selected from the community and brought in to hear evidence and deliberate on the verdict. They bring their own experiences and whatever. I don't know. This is kind of confusing what it said, but lay juror means random people. Okay, yeah. Yeah, can you imagine? Like, I don't know what goes into it, but like, imagine if you were like a professional juror. So, like, every day you go in and it's like, okay, well, first of all, you can imagine? And I would personally think, okay, so if you were like in a situation where you're a professional juror, in my world, I'm thinking, well, druthers would be almost like you switch a professional jury in and out. Because can you imagine like one set of people in one district in one courthouse and they're the jury for this particular thing and they're hearing all these cases? Number one, the stuff that like what their reality would look like, right? The things they would be hearing day in, day out. Okay, but then just from that where it's like you'd almost start to like just form a bias. You know what I mean? Because it's like you would see such like this dark side of life, I would imagine. And of course, I'm in here talking about like in my mind, my assumption is we're talking about like hardcore criminal court, like this stuff we watch, like murder trials and stuff like that, right? Things like that. Now, I mean, if it's like petty stuff, imagine if there was a job where you were like a professional juror for something like Judge Judy, these like TV show things, you got to sit up there. I mean, but they're kind of like those like small claims court. I guess the judge is the jury, whatever it is. But like, imagine if like that was the kind of drama you were able to just sit back and like judge, like professionally judge. So you got paid to judge and be judgmental and be like, oh no, okay, so this one was going out with her. And she stole his car and then slept with her man and then took this over here. Oh, guilty. Guilty. Absolutely. I'd be like this. I'd be like, look, as long as the juror chair is comfy and you got like a little cup holder or whatever, and some like we can do some snacks and stuff, we can run this court 24 hours a day. Just let me take some naps here and there. We can keep this TV show going all day. We can get round the clock coverage. I'm good. This is my, this is my mojo right here now. Just keep bringing the cases in. We love this stuff. We love every bit of this. Yeah, night court, right? Like that would have been great. That was such a fun show. I need to go watch reruns of that. How can I bring my sofa into the gallery? What 100%. You can imagine if it plays. They'd have to get the jaws of life to get me out of that job. If it was like, okay, well here's this, and like the jury thinks a sofa, and we can have snacks and stuff and a blankie. I'm like, no, this is a job. Well, y'all better, if you want me out of here, y'all better start documenting, because I ain't quitting and I ain't retiring. Yeah, family court would be super depressing. Super depressing. Oh, Katie Cat. So my understanding for Judge Judy, Katie Cat says my aunt got invited to Judge Judy as the complainant. They pay for everything, but she lost. Isn't it like, correct me if I'm wrong or if anybody knows, when like Judge Judy, things like that, isn't it like they go through and pick these things out, and so no matter who wins, the show pays for it? So like, say in your example, like my aunt lost or whatever, it's almost like, well, now she, like the benefit is you're no longer paying for it. See what I'm saying? Like the show does, or is that no? Judge Judy pays the, okay. Because I saw one dude on TikTok. He was like, my friends and I used to professionally sue each other to try and get on shows like that and come up with these crazy lawsuits. Because like, apparently that's the kind that like, obviously they're going to get. And it was like their grift and like ways like trying to go viral or whatever, like before viral was a thing, I guess. Like in those terms, viral, whatever that is. It could be like if there was a TV show that was like a mixture of Judge Judy with a dash of, what do you call it? I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Okay, never mind. It'll come to me in a minute. With a dash of Jerry Springer. Yeah, I would love to do that. So like if the defendants got upset with one another, they could start a random food fight. And maybe we just want to liven things up, and I'm like sitting there eating my lunch, and I take a piece of French toast and just like launch it at somebody. And I'm like, let's get this party started. Slap somebody across the face and slap a piece of pizza. Yeah, Sandy says, you are not the father. Imagine that. Imagine doing, what was his name that did that? And the thing says that too was a lie. What was that show? Oh, I haven't watched the Jerry Springer documentary. I bet it's good though, Stormy. Maury. Yes, Maury. Thank you, Tuggs. That would be another one. I remember that that's all he did. And I think Montel got to that point too, where that's all they did was those paternity tests. And they would come up with some trifling stories in there. I mean, some of them were like, but once it got to like pure tabloid, you know what I mean? Where it was just like, girl, you better hope he's not the father, right? Like, this is a trifling story, right? You better hope that this is no, you do not need this man, right? And sometimes vice versa. Oh, Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake. Yes. I forgot about them. Remember Sally, Jesse, Raphael? Remember all those? I've got Jake's Tale. Bad Boy and Vampire Dogs. I don't remember that one. That sounds amazing, though. Yeah, that Sally Jesse was Red Glasses Lady, I think. Phil Donahue. I remember when I was a little kid and I used to think, and maybe it was, but like Phil Donahue and Sally, like that was very serious. That was like a very adult, like serious thing. Like, okay, this is, whatever. I don't know if it was like at what point like TV shows like that turned trashy. Yeah, I don't know if Phil was okay, maybe that's why I associate it with that. And then Oprah, yeah. See, my biggest thing, my childhood memories of talk shows are Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, and then as a little bit older, Oprah Winfrey. Because she dominated. It's just everybody watched Oprah. I mean, it was just huge. I know there is nothing. Katie Cat said the trashy TV we watched homesick from school. There was nothing better when you were a kid, fake and sick, or if you really were sick, but like fake and sick, staying home and watching just that trashy daytime TV, right? It's just not that way anymore. Oh, Golden Girls. Hey, Carolina. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Oprah's very Hollywood now. Yeah. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, 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 snip. Yeah, Jenny Jones got in trouble. I don't know what happened, but they had that dude on that was like confessing to his neighbor that he was in love with him or something. Now, okay, so my only claim to fame with the talk show, and what do you call it? 6 degrees of separation. Okay, so when I was younger and did like extra work and stuff like that, there's these two dudes, they were twins, and I cannot think of their names. Obviously, they were like really handsome dudes. It's that they said that they went on the Ricky Lake show with one of their girlfriends, not girlfriends because they were not into, well, at least one of them was not into girls. You know what I'm saying? Like girl dash friends. And they went on the premise of it was like a long lost love, this kind of thing. Basically said the whole thing was fake, right? And Ricky Lake people knew it was fake. The whole thing was fake. They basically had this whole thing because they were twins and it could be like a thing. You know what I'm saying? They were able to like do this. Oh, Young and the Restless. We used to watch, so my grandmother watched and had us hooked on General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, and Is It One Life to Live? Those were like the three, I think that's the name of them. Those were like the three things there. Oh, Bow and Hope. General Hospital was like the... Now, my mom's gotten back into it. And I mean, I swear it's the same. Some of the same people still on it. Geraldo. Yeah, now Geraldo was like... He was doing the crazy stuff before... in my world, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the first, like, whoa. All my children. God and light. Dark Shadows was good. Luke and Laura, oh my God, yes. I'm just reading your comments now. So look, y'all, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna get ready for bed and do all my stuff. So here's what we're gonna do. Tuesday night we'll do Melanie Gibb. Maybe tomorrow night we'll do the mushroom stuff and start getting caught up on that and going over that. I'll post it tomorrow, whatever. And then we'll be catching up on Melanie Gibb. Because remember, like towards the end, Lori goes into trial for Brandon Boudreaux at the end of this month, allegedly, right? But yeah, we'll get. And when I say the mushroom lady, so also keep in mind with the mushroom thing, it's not televised. So we're just gonna like kind of review articles, things of that nature, and just go over it. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna do mushrooms, right? And so, yeah, because I've just been like, whoa, with stuff I'm reading. Again, thank you, Down Under, for keeping me informed with all that and all the links and stuff you're sending me to keep us, you know, up and going with that. It's that case. I think she's going to be found guilty from what I've read so far because there's so much, like, faking cancer, like, crazy stuff, you know, that I'm just like, what? So, y'all, let's give a shout out to all the mods for making it possible, for keeping the cushions fluffed and everything going. I do appreciate y'all. And thank you, Sofa Squad, for hanging out and going over this. We will close out with Slow Morrison's little Sofa Squad song to end on a nice little fun note. So that's it. I'll post stuff tomorrow about the live. It'll be 7:00 though. That's kind of my go-to time. And we'll get all caught up. So that is it. I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out. And y'all have a wonderful Sunday night and have a wonderful Monday morning, whatever it is you do Monday morning. And I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perk's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Puppies need me, oh please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.